Welcome to hyperCAD S. This video will demonstrate the new selection functions implemented in version 2014.2 along with the addition of solids. There are a couple of new options for the selection filter. The Select In Out function in the upper toolbar now contains an in or out setting for features, solids, and groups. The In option, shown by the icon with the green arrow, allows you to select geometry from within a feature, solid, or group. The Out option allows you to select an entire feature, solid, or group. The All toggle will set the filter for all types to either in or out. You will see these icons in the Selection tab as well. My current selection filter is set to Out for all, which means I can only select an entire solid or group or geometry not belonging to a solid or group. If I change the solid selection filter to In, I can select entire features from within the solid or any non-feature geometry. And if I change the feature filter to In, I can now select geometry from within a feature. There is now a Select menu in the menu bar that contains all the selection functions that were previously located in the Edit menu, as well as several new selection functions. The Select All, Select Lasso, and Select Window functions have not changed, but the chain selection has been enhanced to allow for the addition of limits. Adding limits will remove those entities from becoming part of the chain. In Stop at Bifurcation mode, the chain is selected until it reaches two branches from the same point. Adding one of those branches as a limit will allow the chain to go past it. In Minimal Angle mode, the chain follows a path at the smallest angle to the chain. Any selected limits will be disregarded. Adding a tolerance will allow the chain to ignore any gap smaller than the tolerance value. Chaining with limits is also possible when selecting face boundaries. The Lasso Visible Entities and Window Visible Entities commands are used to select geometry that is visible in the current viewing direction. In this example, there is geometry behind the part that can't be seen when looking at it from this direction. The Window Visible Entities command will select only that geometry that can be seen in that direction. Perpendicular faces are not selected. The same goes for the Lasso Visible Entities. Remember, when using a lasso, to close the lasso while holding the Alt key to select only geometry within the lasso. The Limited Faces function allows you to select faces that are limited or bounded by other faces. For the boundaries input, select the adjacent face or faces, and for the face input, select a face from within the scope of the faces you want selected. Now those limited faces are selected and some function can be performed on them. This is the only selection function that has multiple inputs, which means additional selection functions can be performed while in this dialog, such as select fillet faces. Now I've selected the faces that are bound by those fillets. The Fillet Faces command allows you to select a group of fillet surfaces that are continuous within the linear tolerance and fall within the min and max radius, in which case fillets of different sizes can be selected together. Or you can choose to only select fillets that have the same radius as the one chosen. The Select Chamfer Faces command is similar, but is used to select chamfers based on the min and max diagonal length. There's an option here for only 45-degree chamfers and for same chamfer size as selected. The Select Tangent Faces command will select all faces that are tangent to the one picked and within the angular tolerance. Increasing the angular tolerance will allow you to select faces that are not exactly tangent. The coplanar faces command will select all faces that are coplanar to the one picked and within the angular and linear tolerance. Increasing the linear tolerance will select all parallel faces that fall within that distance. And increasing the angular tolerance will allow you to select all faces that are within that angle to the coplanar faces. The coaxial faces command will select all faces that share a common axis and fall within the linear and angular tolerance of the one chosen. There is also a new option in the snap selection filter for the use of snaps when using the manipulator or handles. The default is set to as snap options, which depends on the context menu in use, but you can set this to always on or always off as well. I'll give you an example of why you may want to turn this off. If I want to move this feature to a different location, I select it and enter the move function. And when I drag my manipulator, I have the ability to snap to existing points. These snap points can sometimes get in the way. If that's the case, you can turn that snap option off and freely drag the manipulator without automatic snaps. That wraps up the new selection functions for hyperCAD S. Please refer to the help menu for more information. Thanks for watching.